Ayurveda is a natural and holistic approach to health. It can help to alleviate pain, digestive problems, stress, insomnia, and many other ailments that plague a lot of people every day. This is a holistic, natural way at looking at health and approaching health to prevent or rebalance health. So even if you have a problem and you follow Ayurvedic guidelines, you will have positive effects. I want to explain a little bit what that actually means. Ayurveda and yoga are considered sister sciences, so they work hand in hand, support each other, and both sciences developed in ancient India about 3,000 to 5,000 years ago. They both are still around, so that tells me they are working, because otherwise who cares about anything that doesn't work? The foundation of Ayurveda are the 5 elements. There is ether or space, air, fire, water, and earth. Out of those 5 elements, everything is made. The planet, the universe, including the human being. Why this is important is because when we understand that we are made or contain those elements, and we understand the characteristics and how they work, then we understand ourselves a little bit better, and we know how to deal with our health. So let's take a baby that will be created in the mother's womb. At the conception, a blueprint is laid out from the parents, inherited from the parents, that lays out the different elements and in what amount they are present in that new life. You can also call it has to do with genes. So we inherit our genes from our parents. Ayurveda looks at it a little bit differently through the eyes of the elements. So now this baby grows and grows in the womb, and a new life is born. And this new life now, this baby, has its own constitution or prakruti. That means this child, this being, contains a certain amount of the earth element, the water element, the air element, the space element, and the fire element. And everyone is individual, so we all have a little bit a different arrangement of those elements, but we all made from the same stuff, so to speak. Out of those 5 elements are the 3 doshas created or reduced to. So there are 3 doshas. One dosha is called the Vata dosha, and it is made from space and air. The Pitta dosha is made from fire and water, mostly fire, a little bit of water, and that water is a little bit on the steamy side already, so more like steam than water, but still considered water. And then the 3rd dosha is Kapha dosha, and it's made from earth and water. So everybody contains the 3 doshas in different amounts. In the body, what it means, the kapha or the earth part of the body is the solid part, is the bones, the flesh, the muscles, the skin, the nails, everything that is solid and the strong and supportive. Just like the earth outside in the yard has the same qualities. It's gross, in comparison, not subtle. Sometimes it's a little wet or cool. It's solid. It's heavy. If you want to dig, you need to work it. It's slow. So the earth element is really solid and has a lot of substance. And so that part is the Kapha part, or the earth part in the body. Now the fire part, or the fire element in the body, is the whole system of the digestion and metabolism. So the digestive juices, the enzymes, hormones, the endocrine system, the whole chemical household of the body is considered the fire element. The fire element in the sense of, you probably heard that statement before, if you would take your stomach juices and put them on your skin, you would burn your skin. So it would burn so that's the fire part of it, in the sense of burning. Everything that goes into the stomach is being cooked. It's being cooked, broken down, and transformed in the digestive system, and then transformed from food into nutrition that then will be absorbed into the bloodstream. So that's the Pitta, or the fiery part of the body. And then the water, we all know most of the body is water, over 70%. So there is saliva, urine, the plasma in the blood, there is lymphatic fluid, there's fluid where the brain is floating in, there's fluid in the spinal cord. So there's a lot of watery fluids in the body. That's the water element. And then we have the air. So there's air, like the breath, for example. The breath is coming in and out. The nervous system is considered airy, the airy element. It's erratic. It can be like electricity, move erratically, like the air, like the wind. So again, the same qualities like the elements outside, the same qualities are displayed on the inside. Even though there's no wind blowing in the body, there is electricity going through it, through the nervous system, for example, or the breath. And it can be erratic. The breath can be smooth or it can be erratic. The nerves can be calm or they can be jittery. So the same quality again. And then there's the space element in the body, like there's spaces in the body. There's the stomach is a space, you can fill it up with food. There's the bladder, it holds the urine. There's the uterus, a baby can grow in there. There's different cavities, sinuses, there's spaces in the ears, in the nose. So there's spaces, and that's the space element. So that's basically what the body is made of. Why that is important to know, and why is it helpful for our health, is now that if you have a body that is high in the fire element, is high Pitta, as we say, then you have already a lot of heat. People that are high in Pitta or high in the fire element, they are hot, they are easily hot, they don't like the heat outside because it adds even more heat to their system. They, if out of balance, they have easily heartburn or acidity, a high acidity in the body. The temper can get hot, like getting angry easily or frustrated, impatient. So that's the quality of the fire and the quality of the fire element in the body. So now you have this person with a lot of fire inside or containing already. If you add more heat through food, for example, let's say you eat a lot of spicy food with chili peppers, now you're going to add more heat to that already a lot of amount of heat you already have. Now you're getting out of balance. There's too much heat. Now the person can get a heartburn, stomach ulcers, get a hot temper, sweating, and it's unpleasant. And if not looked at or not balanced, and you have this condition for long periods of time, years and years, you're going to create an imbalance or an illness or an ailment. So to know that you actually can balance your heat, in their case the heat element, is very important, because with eating the right foods now, instead of aggravating the fire element and adding more heat, you can eat foods that are cooling and bringing the heat down, bringing your acidity down, bringing your heartburn down, bringing your temper down. For example, cooling foods are cucumbers or greeny leaves, spinach, kale, collard greens. All those green leafy vegetables, they have a cooling effect on the system. Cucumber is cooling, is watery, adds moisture. So instead of eating spicy food or a spicy side dish or spicy peppers on your salad, keep the peppers out and just put more cucumbers on it, for example. And you're gonna, every time you know you have a condition or you are aware of it, you can actually balance your system every time you eat a meal. And keeping your health in balance, or get your health back into balance. Because if you have been doing this for a long time without knowing, now you start to eat differently, you can bring your system back into balance over time. Now, let's say somebody is more the earthy type, the Kapha type. The earthy type already is heavy. As we said, earth is heavy and solid. It has a lot of substance. It moves slow. So people with a lot of earth, the Kapha type, they are more the slow moving people. They tend to overweight. They have already a lot of body mass, but easily they can gain weight. So now if they add a food that is very earthy and heavy, like grains and root vegetables, potatoes and beets and rooty things that come out of the earth, so you add more earth to your already high earth, and it makes the system slower, more sluggish, the digestion sluggish, the mood, those people tend to depression and low energy, fatigue. So if you know that, you don't want to add more of the earth to your already high earth. For those people, it would be better to eat spicy food or more spicy food like chili peppers, because it creates heat. They need a little bit more heat. The Pittas, they already have a lot of heat. They don't need any more. The Kapha people need that heat to get off the couch, to get some digestion going, to get inspired, to get motivated. So for them, it would be beneficial to eat a little bit of spicy food. And then the Vata type, with the water, with the air and the space elements, they are usually more nervous type. They tend to nervousness if there's too much air in the system, if the system is out of balance. So they tend to nervousness, and they are usually skinny type of people. So they are, more subtle, a little bit more subtle, like the air, thinner, sometimes long and tall, or they can be short and skinny too, but more the bony, skinny type. So if they add more air into their already high air body, they're gonna get even more, absent-minded, for example, nervous, forgetful, tripping over things. So they need more substance. For them, it would be good to eat warm, creamy things, like warm, creamy soups, a creamy potato soup, or a creamy noodle soup, or something that is soothing and warming and calming and kind of settling down, because the air is erratic and is up, moving up and down and everywhere. The warm and soothing food would ground them, that would bring them down. So if you know that, if you're aware of your body type, if you're aware of the foods that are suitable for you, you can balance your system, and you can prevent digestive problems, sleep problems, nervous issues, stress, insomnia, and so many more things, also more serious ailments like arthritis and things like that, because every ailment is really an out of balance system. And there is nothing, in Ayurveda and yoga too, it's not really about the right and wrong and good and bad. It's more about balance and not balance. So if something is out of balance, there's always a way to bring it back to balance. Yeah, it's very, actually pretty simple, but it's also very complex because it touches the physical body, but it also affects our mental body and the emotions. So spicy food that aggravate the Pitta dosha not only makes your stomach heartburn, but it also brings your temper up. You get irritated and pissed easily, impatient. Everything needs to go faster. So all those things affect more than just the body. And so to learn about it and just learn simple principles and create a good, healthy digestive system, it's gonna be night and day how you feel and how you sleep and how you look at life and how you are just being able to enjoy life in a much better way. So in my workshop coming up now on February 22nd, we will learn all about that. And then also there's a whole bunch of other tools that can be applied. There's morning and evening routines that are very nice to integrate into life, to start and end the day in a conscious and healthy way. Yoga, meditation can be implied, and everything is just to add to health and well-being. And it's a great tool for everybody to have and to have control over your health. And when you have control over your health, you have control over your life a lot more than if you don't know what's going on and you just randomly eat things. You don't know what's good and what's not good for you. So it's a big improvement for health, well-being, mental abilities, the ability to feel and express yourselves is going to be improved. So I hope I could spark a little light in you. Maybe you get interested in this. I hope so. Go on to my website. It's going to be down there on the screen, and you can click the event tab, and from there you actually can book a ticket for February 22nd. That's a Friday from 6 to 9 in the evening. And it's a very casual atmosphere. We will be sitting on chairs. It's not a yoga class. It's more a lecture style class, and there will be hands out paper information so you can follow along. There will be a way to figure out your constitution so you know what's good and what's not good for you, and just so many things. And of course your questions, I'm gonna answer them as good as I can. So I hope you are interested, and check out my website, and I see you next time. I see you on the workshop, I hope, and you have a nice day. Namaste.